So how many of you have actually heard of Textile Fashion Group? I imagine it's a lot less than West Elm. Okay, I see some hands. Since I figured most of you aren't that familiar, we're pretty new as a company. As generations go, we're the alpha generation. We've only been around for 8 years. We are digitally native. But I wanted to start with a little video to give you a better understanding of who we are.
Our next guest runs one of the biggest subscription e-commerce companies in the world.
What's going to distinguish whether you become the next really huge thing?
What we're doing is very different because we're building brands. If you look at all the major fashion brands today, they've all been brands that have been built 15 to 50 years ago. The fashion landscape is changing, and what textile is all about is using technology, being vertically integrated from start to finish, having this direct relationship with the consumer, and building brands online first.
I just went to JustFab.com and they have everything.
40 million JustFab members agree. You can never have too many shoes.
I saw the shoes online. Ever since then, I've been hooked.
That sucker. Wow.
Should I do a little promo? JustFab shoes? Okay.
I'm so excited to be here presenting you with your JustFab challenge.
Buy shoes that work for a lot of different things.
Whether it's booties or sandals, whatever I'm looking for, JustFab has it.
Why would you want to look like everyone else?
Fabletics, an athleisure line whose co-founder is the actress Kate Hudson.
It's cool stuff. I've seen some of it.
Yes, good.
It looks really great.
It's working for you two frustrated athletes.
You just found out we're the fastest growing activewear brand in history of e-commerce.
What was it about Demi that you just said, we got to do this?
Funny though? Yeah. We actually met in the gym.
I'm Demi Lovato, and this is my new Fabletics collection.
Introducing the Demi Lovato collection for Fabletics.
ShoeDazzle believes shoes are the centerpiece of your look.
And that's what ShoeDazzle is about, is getting that personal experience with a great quality. Unlike other companies, we actually own the brand. We own the supply chain from start to finish.
So Luke's talk was actually a great introduction for our brand because we are tech style. About half of our employees come from a tech background, and about the other half come from the style side or the retail side of the background. And it's a great marriage because in this digital age, you need to be able to own your tech stack and be able to be flexible to be able to keep up with the consumer changes. We have 4 brands, established brands: JustFab, ShoeDazzle, FabKids, and Fabletics. And if you are on our email database for JustFab or ShoeDazzle, you would have seen that yesterday we also announced that we're launching our lingerie brand, Savage X Fenty, with Rihanna. So we're excited for that. We were founded in 2010. We are a digitally native brand, not a digital immigrant. We have over 5 million shoppers who shop us in our VIP subscription. We have over 90 million who are part of our database. So our mission is to reimagine the fashion business using data and technology to serve the customer in a smarter way, because the fashion landscape is changing. If you think back to as early as a decade ago, things like the smartphone didn't really exist. The adoption of social media wasn't there. E-commerce barely existed, right? Those 3 things have drastically changed the way that consumers shop today. And most of the brands that are around today are not alpha generation brands. They're baby boomers or traditionalists even, right? And so these brands that we love and admire and talk about all the time, we're having to, they have to change and become digitally adopting new technologies, right? And the question is how quickly they're able to change and how quickly they're able to adapt to this new era of consumer behavior. And if you read the headlines in our industry today, it feels like this. It's complete and total chaos. It's the retail apocalypse. You know, stores are closing right and left. We had 6,000 store closures in 2017 in the US alone. And so the question is, you know, should we all just pack up and go home? No. I don't think so. I think we need to look at where the growth continues. So e-commerce is not just a buzzword that we said in the early 2000s. It's actually where the growth is in our industry. If you look as early as a few years ago, e-commerce apparel and accessories percentage of total revenue was only 15%. So 15% of shopping in the US for apparel and accessories was done online. And as soon as next year, that will have doubled to 30%, doubled in that short period of time. And we actually think it'll continue to grow until it hits about 50%. Now, Amazon will probably have a pretty good chunk of that, but the way the rest of us fight for that other market share piece is going to be really interesting. And it's not just about transferring sales from your traditional store customer to your .com channel. This is where I think a lot of traditional retailers are missing out on the game and what's happening here. This is a great example of a multi-billion-dollar national retailer, publicly traded. This is public information. You can see that in this particular year, 2014 to 2015, their online sales grew by 8%. Great, yay! You know, they're talking about in all of their investor relations meetings how great online is, and they're really leaning in, et cetera, right? But then the same year, you look at total revenue, including their web channel, and you see that it's actually declining by 3%. So what's happening here is what we call the leaky bucket syndrome. So they're actually just taking customers from their stores channel and pouring them into their .com channel, and they're losing a lot of customers along the way. Most traditional retailers don't know how to acquire customers natively through a digital channel. So if you think about a traditional retailer like a JCPenney or a Gap, right? Do you really think the people shopping JCPenney.com or Gap.com have never set foot in a store? No, they have definitely set foot in those stores. They're not getting new customers who have never shopped in their stores before. So the first thing I want to talk about today is how to truly acquire customers digitally through paid advertising and not just by opening stores. It's one of the key pillars to thinking like a digitally native brand. So at Textile, we have a couple of main ways that we acquire customers. First is through friend referral. We get a lot of our customers through friend referral in our actual referral program, where you can get points and discounts for referring your friends. And we get a big chunk of our customers through friend referral from word of mouth and things like that. But the other thing that we do a lot of and drives almost 2/3 of our acquisition is through paid advertising, both on TV and on online channels. So if you think about a traditional retailer, they do growth through opening stores. And it costs anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 to do a store build out. You have to sign a lease. It used to be those leases would be 5 to 10 years. Now with the mall vacancies as they are, those leases are a little more flexible and usually in the range of 2 to 5 years. But 2 to 5 years is a really big commitment. $250,000 is a pretty big chunk of change to just fuel growth. The way we look at digital advertising and TV advertising is not as a brand building exercise, but as an ROI positive growth mechanism. So for every $250,000 that a traditional retailer is spending to open a store and commit to that 2 to 5 years, we can spend that on digital media and get the same amount of growth from our customers. Only we have the flexibility to ramp it up and down. So in December, I can spend more. In June, I can spend less. Imagine if you could have more stores in December and fewer stores in June, right? Wouldn't that be amazing? And so that's the way we look at it. And we have a media payback within 6 months and a 2.5x ROI over a 3-year period. It's really important to us. So for us, it's something that's vertically integrated. We have an in-house digital media buying agency. We have an in-house studio team who concepts, writes, directs, shoots, and edits our TV commercials all in-house. So that I'm able to do tons of iterations of TV commercials. Looking at the budgets, I can do 5 commercials for the cost of about half of what I would have spent to film a commercial at a previous brand in my previous life. And so this is something where we have the flexibility, the capability to do it in-house. The studios are actually in our building. So right underneath my office, in fact, is where this particular commercial was filmed.
Guess what? She just got more shoes from JustFab. Every month, shoes, more shoes. Does that seem crazy to you? Why do you need so many JustFab shoes?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Because I work hard, it's my money, they're only $39.95 and they make me happy.
Those are good reasons. I was just...
Go make some dinner.
Go to JustFab.com. Thousands of styles for just $39.95, plus free shipping. And now get 50% off your entire order, only at JustFab.com.
So those particular actors are great to work with. We've worked with them for a number of years now, and we're able to be on set. That one was actually ad-lib from the actors themselves, which was really fun, and then it ended up being one of our winning commercials. When we filmed that day, we were able to film multiple iterations of the interactions between the husband and wife, and then we're able to put those up and test them. So every time I send out a commercial, I'll film one, and I do maybe 15 iterations from that. So different iterations of the interaction between the husband and wife, different iterations on the end cards and what shoes I show. I'll update it for boot season versus sandal season, right? So if a commercial was filmed for the fall, but it's performing really well and it keeps beating all of the new commercials and the new tests, then I'll continue to run it and just update it seasonally so that it's appropriate. We can do different iterations with different offers for different regions, things like that. So what we do is what we call agile acquisition. And it's not just through TV. We also do it through our online acquisition, display, social media, affiliates, influencers, et cetera. We do 24,000 versions of ad creatives a year, 24,000. And what we do is we'll start the month with hundreds that we put up from everything that we have launched that month in terms of the styles. We'll see what's working. We take the top 25, 50 ads that are working, and we do iterations of them. Okay, so the pink shoe is working. Give me 10 more ads of the pink shoe. We put those up. We see which ones of those work. Whichever ones of those winners work, we make iterations of that. There's never a pencils down moment. We're constantly iterating and constantly going after what's going to work. And this is very effective for us. We do the same methodology on our site. So you can see there's 1,250 website iterations per year. So we constantly test and tweak and optimize. And we're only able to do this because we have it in-house. So the next thing I want to talk about in thinking like a digitally native brand is creating a personalized shopping experience. Now this is one of my favorite buzzwords that everyone is talking about, and personalization can mean a lot of different things. The truth is, in my conversations with most traditional retailers today, no one's really doing it that well. A lot of people are doing segmentation, but very few people are doing true one-to-one personalization. Here's the thing about it. Personalization isn't new. It might be a buzzword that we retailers all started talking about 5 years ago, but we didn't invent it. It's not something that we created. When I'm asked about personalization, I like to refer to this example of shopping in the US in the 1950s. So that was a highly personalized experience between a shopkeeper and his or her customers. If you think about shopping in the 1950s, a typical interaction in a small town would have been something like this. I walk into the store, the shopkeeper says, good morning, Ms. Inglis. It's so great to see you again. You typically shop twice a week, and I haven't seen you in 3 weeks. I hope everything's great. You know what? I know you really love those floral print dresses, and I have a new shipment in the back in your size and in your price range, right? That would have been a very typical interaction. That was one shopkeeper with maybe 50 or 100 different customers, and he would keep all of that information in his head. But the truth is, those were data points, personal information, my name. Shopping frequency, I know you come typically twice a week, and I haven't seen you in 3 weeks. Product preferences, I know you love floral dresses, right? And price sensitivity, they're in your price range. These are all data points, and guess what, guys? We have these data points on our customers. There is no reason we shouldn't be using that data to personalize the customer experience, to imitate that same interaction that the shopkeeper had with his or her customers in that one small shop. How many of you have been on a mission to get data over the last, call it 3 to 5 years, right? This is a huge thing for retailers right now. Everyone's trying to build up their database, get data on their customers. But the truth is, very few people are actually using that data, right? There's no point of collecting the data if you're not going to use it to make a better customer experience for your customer. That is called hoarding, right? So don't be a data hoarder. Use it to create a relevant message with relevant product in relevant delivery. I'm going to give you some examples. So we personalize all of our brands from the moment of engagement. So the first time you visit one of our sites, and hopefully you'll all visit it after this topic today, you'll be hit with a style quiz, right? And this is asking you, what are your style preferences? You can skip the quiz if you don't want to. Some people don't. We find more people by far take it than don't take it. What are your style preferences? What is your shoe size? What is your dress size? What is your heel height preference? What's your zip code? And then we, from that very moment, we take that quiz information and personalize the very first page that you'll see. So if it's a February timeframe and you live in Ohio, where I grew up, you're going to see boots. And if you say, I like flats and I don't want to see 5-inch heels, you won't see 5-inch heels. If you live in LA, where I live now, then you will see flat sandals or heeled sandals, right? So it's seasonally appropriate, but also targeted to the preferences that you say you want. So the other thing that we are able to do is email personalization. And this is where we can get very, very detailed on our personalization. So this is a real example. It's from October, which reviewing these slides this morning made me realize I need to update this slide. But it's, the fundamentals are here. So what we're able to do, these are two different emails. The one on the right is the one that I actually received, and the one on the left is one that a friend of mine received. So these were real emails, not test emails. And you can see on the right, the top banner, might not be able to read it from there, but the top banner says, hey, thanks for being a Diamond Elite VIP member, because I'm not just the president of my brands, I'm also a member. I love shopping and I love our products and I shop a lot. So I got a banner saying, hey, thanks for being a best customer. And then you can see that the verbiage, the copy, and the hero images are the same, but very little of the rest of the email is the same. So my friend hadn't shopped in a while, so she got a $5 off incentive saying, hey, we miss you, please come back and shop. I didn't get that because I had been shopping regularly, right? Then you look at the product underneath, and the product underneath in the details is totally different. And it's not just segmented. It's not just saying, hey, you and your friend are in the same demographics. You both live in LA, you are both 40 and blah, 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 right? It's actually looking at the individual preferences of what I click on versus what she clicks on. We continue to refine these profiles we build out for our customer, not just based on that style quiz, but based on every single interaction with email and site after that. We even tie it into our call center, right? So if we get any information from the call center, we can loop that into this central profile. And we do the same thing on the Fabletics side of the brand, where we have stores. So the store associates are now able to feed that information back into the customer profile. So it's a 360-degree for the total, around the customer, not around the channel. We also do some really cool things with segmentation and lapsed campaigns. So how many of you have a lapsed customer campaign? It's pretty typical, yep. So they're very effective, right? Most brands say, on average, our customers shop every 3 months or every month. So if they haven't shopped in 6 months, we're going to send them an offer. We're going to send them a message that says, we miss you, and we're going to send them an offer with that. They're very effective campaigns. But that's looking at the average across your entire database. And what we know is that we have some shoppers who shop every single day. And we have some shoppers who are wardrobers and they like to shop twice a year, right? So treating those two customers the same way is kind of ridiculous because we have the data to see how often they typically shop. So we calculate every single night and update it every single day to know what the average shopping pattern is for each customer and how far away they are from their average shopping pattern. So I know if they are in cycle or out of cycle for them. So if you give these two examples, the top line is a customer who shops every single month. And so at month 4, I can look at that and say, you know what, I bet she's going to shop next month and month 5. And the bottom line is a customer who shops once every 3 months. So in month 4, I can look at that and say, you know what, I bet she's going to shop next in month 7. If you have a typical lapse campaign, which we did, where you say, if someone hasn't shopped in 3 months, then I would be sending a lapse message to both of those customers in month 7. Now what happens there is that frequent shopper, I've lost her forever. She's shopping every single month and I wait 3 months to say anything to her. She's gone on to another competitor. She has a new boyfriend. It's no longer interesting, right? And then for the customer on the bottom there, I'm sending her a message right at the time that she would typically shop. So not only am I sending her a weird message saying we miss you because she thinks she's in her normal cycle, but I'm also giving her a discount I don't need to give her because she was planning on shopping anyway, right? So you're able to use your discount dollars in a smarter way without giving away things that you don't need to give away. So what we created is an algorithm that will define based on your typical shopping pattern. So you can see that now the way we define lapse campaigns, I will send that message right in the middle of month 5 and 6 to the top customer, and I'll send that message between months 8 and 9 to the bottom customer. So it's targeted for each individual. When we launched this, we saw a 22% lift in customer conversion from our lapse campaign over the previous successful lapse campaign. So it's been working really well for us. This was published in the Wall Street Journal last year, and I'm really proud of the team, that the work that the team has done. But you can see that we're nationally ranked #2 in personalization index for retailers. Most of you are probably on this list somewhere. I think there's like 200 retailers on the list, so you can go check it out, Google it, see where you are. If you are a small retailer and you aren't on the list, there's a online quiz you can take to see where you would have been ranked in the algorithm that this company built to define it. It's actually pretty cool. So next year I want to see us as #1. I want to beat Sephora, but it was pretty cool that we beat Nordstrom and Walmart and Amazon on the level of personalization. So I mentioned some of the rapid testing that we do. So this is an example of a PDP for us and what it might look like at the beginning of the month then compared to that at the end of the month. We isolate each of these variables and do rapid mini tests. And we'll run them until we have statistical significance on them, but we do have quite a large database, so we're able to get that traffic and get that significance pretty early. But you can see some minor differences between the PDPs on the beginning of the month and the end of the month, the test. The color dots are circles versus squares, and they're larger. The image is slightly larger. The offer has been moved, so it's not the most prominent thing, so that you have more attention on the actual product. The you might also like tiles have been moved up. The customer recommendations, the reviews have, like all of these little micro details have been moved and optimized. And you can see there's a 15% lift in this given month on existing customer conversion, just by having these constant tests. The last thing I want to talk about is customer intimacy in a digital world. So my background is in traditional retail. I came from L Brands, Victoria's Secret Express, Bath & Body Works, and then also for Tord and Hot Topic. So we would always be in the stores. Les Wexner, the chairman of L Brands, would encourage everyone to go to the stores, see the customers face-to-face, talk to them face-to-face, see what bags they're holding. It's one thing to see a survey says that they all shop at Bloomingdale's, but then you see them carrying around Forever 21 bags and you know where they're really shopping, right? So having that personal interaction with the customer is something that a digitally native brand didn't have. When I first started, we had no stores. We had no way to talk to the customers. So we created a program called Meet the VIP, which, get this, we just invited the customers to come have dinner with us. That's it. Just that simple. Invited them to come have dinner with us in our office in LA, and then we also expanded it throughout all of the US. We look at what are the top cities where we over-index in the population, and we go there, and we set up dinner at a hotel or a venue like this, and we have round tables, and we talk to them, and we ask them, what do you love about us? What do you not love about us? What could we do better to make a better customer experience for you? Where else are you shopping, and what do you shop them for that we could get more of that market share from you? And you would be surprised at all of the insights that we're getting from this. We have had so many ideas, from microscopic changes to the way that we load our mobile site to major changes in processes, like we now tell the team, QA on mobile only. Don't sit there on your desktop and QA, because none of our customers are shopping on desktop. It's like 80% of our traffic comes from a mobile device. So QA on your phone, right? Those little things like that. We also launched a new business line that's doing $20 million a year based off an idea that came out of these Meet the VIP dinners. So these have been super successful in a way for us to get in front of the customer. They have paid off the ROI on buying them dinner in spades. And then also, let's see, I don't know if I can I get you guys in the back to click on if you hover over the black phone, no, go back one, yeah, there you go, hit play on that, thanks. So we also listen digitally, so we watch how customers interact. One of the things we saw in the data was that our customers, a third of customers who were getting a cart error were bouncing. Think about that. A third of customers who were getting a cart error bouncing. These are high-intention customers. High-intention customers who have gone through the process of finding a product, finding it in their size, finding it in their color, putting it in their cart, maybe doing that again and again for 2, 3 items, and now they're ready to check out. They've put in their credit card information, and then they get an error. A third of them bounce out. So we were able to look at this recording and many others like this and see this customer clicks on complete checkout 10 times. 10 times she's trying to give me her money. 10 times she's trying to start a relationship with our brand. She's trying to give me the chance to surprise and delight her by sending her product that she loves, that she then talks to her friends about, that then drives additional transactions. 10 times she clicks on this and then she abandons, right? We realized what was wrong is that we weren't bouncing people up to where they should be in the cart to show the error, right? So she forgot her CVV number, she forgot her first name, right? We need to bounce her back up. That's such an easy tech fix from an implementation. If we weren't listening and paying attention, I would never have known this, right? A lot of times people will say, if people are checking out, the cart isn't broken, and that is not true. You need to be paying attention, right? So we were able to make this quick fix and saw huge increases in conversions from this. So you have to listen to your customers both in real life, IRL, and digitally. You need to be listening on both fronts. Another interesting thing that we saw is that we're not just looking at the data, we're not just optimizing the technology, we also talk about our customers and being a customer-led organization. We are delighting our customer. One of the things that we wanted to know is, where does she get her source of fashion inspiration? So on the JustFab brand, we did a survey to our JustFab customers saying exactly that. And at the last minute, we threw in the JustFab brand and our sister brand, Shoe Dazzle, into the survey, because we wanted to know, is she going to Pinterest? Is she going to Instagram? We never even thought that it would be us. And it turns out that we're number one. We're where she comes for her source of fashion inspiration. And this is amazing because we're doing a lot with outfitting, with recommendations for looks, with how to wear it, you may also like. And so we're seeing that explaining those trends and how to wear things is really paying off. And we're getting that emotional loyalty from our customer base. And our NPS scores are competitive with a lot of long-standing brands. So if you look at brands that have a national footprint of stores, brands that have been around for 50 years, we have a competitive and sometimes better NPS or net promoter score, where they're willing to recommend, not just loving it themselves, but willing to recommend the brand to their friends and family. So the question I wanted to pose to you guys today is, how have you responded? Because this is really all about how we are responding. When you think about the retail apocalypse or the total chaos, it's not total chaos. It's just listening to the consumer, understanding how the consumer behavior has drastically changed over the last 3 years and responding to it. So you have to embrace e-commerce growth, and you have to embrace technology that helps you to have a better customer experience. And so I leave you with that thought is, what are we doing that we can better improve the customer experience in this new digital age? That's it.
One question I want to ask, and I'm not sure this is the right venue, but you talked about your friend getting the $5 coupon and you didn't, and you're a better customer. And in today's transparency, you're more than likely to talk to one another. And doesn't that create some cognitive dissonance on the part of your best customers, that they're not getting the same offers that not such good customers are getting? And how do you get around that?
Yeah, so the question was about my friend getting the $5 because she hadn't shopped versus me being a best customer, and in that particular email not getting an offer. And the truth is, our best customers get delighted and surprised with offers all the time. So we actually give out more discount dollars to our best customers, and we actually get much more incremental revenue from sending it to a best customer than you do to sending it to a lapsed customer. So it's not a matter of whether we give discount customers or lapsed customers more discounts. It's pretty equal across the board. They're just different campaigns. So instead of doing it the old dumb way of peanut butter spread discount to everybody, we do it in a much smarter way where we target actual campaigns based on each individual. So in that particular example, I know that. And the other question you had was on the subscription model and return rates and how we can fix them. Our return rates are actually super low for an e-commerce brand. We have a 6% return rate, which is actually lower than any other store and omni-channel company that I've worked for before. So we are able to do that by having, we own the full product, so it's completely vertically integrated, so we have very size consistency and transparency. If there is something that's a different size, we'll make sure that we say, hey, this one fits a little bit snug because of the fabric or whatever. And we also have, we get 30,000 customer reviews every single month. And one of the questions we ask customers is, how does it fit? Does it fit true to size, a little bit small, a lot small, a little bit big, a lot big? And so customers will use that information as well to make sure that they have the right size. They'll look at pictures that other customers have posted. And so that, I think, is what drives the return rates. Your third question was on the subscription model. The subscription model is a win-win situation for us. So all we ask of our customers is that they come to the site once a month. Come to the site, see what we have. If you don't like it, you skip. You can skip as many times as you want. If you do like it, you buy. Great. If you choose to do neither of those things, you do get charged $39. That's like a gift card that you can use at any point in time in the future. And so that gives us the ability to be more predictive with not only how many units we're going to sell each month, but in what sizes and in what quantities. So we're able to do smarter merchandising strategies so that we know I need to buy X number of size 7.5 shoes this particular month, right? And that enables us to have better margins. And we then pass that discount on to the customer. So if you're in our subscription model, which you have the choice to shop whether regular e-commerce or subscription, if you choose a subscription model, you get 30% off every day. So. Other questions? Thank you.
Hi, thank you for making the presentation. I'm interested in understanding how you might use Agile practices for inventory markdown decisions and one-to-one promotional marketing discounts.
Yeah, we do some really cool things there. So most of the time, if you are a traditional retailer, if you start to size out of things, you have to mark something down because then you're not going to be able to sell all of it, right? We don't do that because we're able to target. If you wear a size 5.5 fringe size, I can make a boutique for just you that's a size 5.5. So then I'm less likely to need to discount it. We like to target our discount dollars at the customer, not at the product. So discounting the product says there's something wrong with this product. Giving a discount to the customer says, hey, you're a cool customer and I want to give you a reward to come and shop with us and choose whatever you want instead of us saying, I'm going to mark down these particular products. Oh, yay! Another Diamond Elite VIP member. Yeah, so the question was on wish list. So her wish list is full, sounds like, and what we do with it. So we do a lot of campaigns. Occasionally we've done for certain customers like Surprise and Delight, you can take 15% off anything in your wish list today and things like that. The wish list, I think, is one area that we could probably do some optimizations. We have a long list of things that we'd like to do with it. And it's one of the things we've, at our Meet the VIP dinners, heard our customers say they want us to do more with. So.
Can you comment on your brick and mortar strategy? Because you said, it's not your measure of growth, but Fabletics is opening stores. So when and where and why it's right for you?
Yeah, so when we talk to our customers and when we survey them, we see that one of the biggest things they want is to be able to do buy now, wear tonight. And so the only way to really do that is through some sort of retail footprint, whether that's opening our own stores like we have for Fabletics or partnering with a national retailer for shop-in-shops. And these are things that we're exploring for the JustFab and Shoe Dazzle brands. Fabletics now has 24 stores and continuing to grow. We see that the omni-channel customer is actually 3 times the value of an online-only customer. Partially because you see that your best customers are coming to the store, but also the customers that we acquire through the store are shopping online as well. So it's definitely a growth opportunity for us. It's not a question of whether it's ROI positive. It is ROI positive to open stores. It's more ROI positive to acquire customers through digital online channels. There's room for both in the portfolio. I saw another hand here. No, same question? Okay. Cool. I think I'm out of time, but thank you guys.